Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Here we are. It's Monday, April 10th, 2017, and we have some of the most damaging news for the U.S. economy that is ready to just wreak havoc on the markets. And it's what a lot of people did not expect to take place. Some people were calling for it a long time and they get mocked, but what we're seeing is a tax plan that was set forth by Donald Trump during his campaign is no longer the one they're going with. In fact, they're going back to the drawing board in search for a Republican consensus behind legislation to overhaul the U.S. tax system. You see, what he campaigned on, these massive tax overhauls, and what was prepared for him by these accountants and economists that came out and prepared this wonderful tax plan that everybody has been putting their money into, is no longer feasible. In fact, they came in and said, excuse me, Mr. Trump, America's bankrupt. Our national debt is approaching $20 trillion, and there's just absolutely no way we're going to be able to cut taxes like this. And so, also, they approached him. There's no longer going to be a border tax on China's goods. I'm certainly understanding now why the Chinese media is now touting about the Trump and Xi Jinping visit as something that is wonderful, and the stock market of China is rallying. Looks like we're having a backtrack over all the economic policies that everyone voted for. More importantly, that the stock market is rallying over. And we have earnings season coming up. Now, the administration's first attempt to write legislation in its early stages, the White House has kept much of it under wraps, but it's already sprouted of consideration of a series of unorthodox proposals, including a drastic cut to payroll tax. It's aimed at appealing to the Democrats because what they're seeing is they're not really going to be able to get a tax overhaul bill through with the Republicans that all of them are going to be satisfied with. Most likely the Freedom Caucus. So some views, what they say, these economists that wrote the tax plan for Donald Trump, they're upset. They're saying, why are you going and trying to find some way? They're saying that this is not even going to take place in 2018. They don't even know when they're going to get this tax plan written. This is major news. You see, everyone's been riding on this tax plan. This is what we voted for, right? Ronald Reagan-esque tax reductions. But what they're saying is that it's going to take them a long time to sit down and write through this bill, despite the fact they only work 8 days in March because that's right, out on vacation. It's a wonderful day. They're out enjoying the weather now that they have our taxpayer-funded paychecks. Thank you very much. And we're facing a government shutdown. As the fact that the debt ceiling has been reached and we have no more cash, it just seems like the inevitable is taking place, and really people's underestimating of just how devastated the U.S. economy has been is now coming to fruition, on display before the whole world as they rise up and say, Mr. Trump, there's just no way we're going to be able to cut taxes on corporations. There's just no way we're going to be able to cut taxes on people. There's just no way we're going to be able to have these tax cuts. So these economists, they're upset. They're saying, why are you going to the drawing boards and wrestling and taking so much time on how to write tax legislation when we already gave you a plan that you put on your website, Donald Trump, whenever you were running and campaigning for our votes, when we packed stadiums for you, when we knew that what we need in America is this iron grip off of these businesses. That we have one of the most controlled economies, that even China ranks higher in a freer economy, a communist state. And so now that we're here, now that you've won, and it's time for these taxes to come in, which everyone is banking on this massive growth, which they don't see United States getting above 2% this year. Everyone's banking on these massive growth, these massive earnings. Guess what? When they begin to wake up and realize this is not going to happen, that nothing that we were promised is going to happen, you watch the stock market come crumbling down as the bankruptcies continue to rise, retailers continue to close, and major lines are going out of business. You just watch when these earnings reports comes out and all of these people, all excited by a frenzy stirred up by the Wall Street Journal, similar to all of the wonderful news that the Wall Street Journal has been giving us recently, as we've seen that they've put out several false reports in an attempt to control the world. It's only propaganda. And what we're seeing, the heartbroken citizens, as they begin to realize that the bankers have already pressed sell, that the Warren Buffetts of the world have already pressed sell, and they've gotten their profits. And then when this whole thing comes crashing down because everything that you believed in, unfortunately, once you get into the swamp, you can't help but get a little bit of the muck on your boots. And what we're seeing, this goal to cut tax rates sharply enough to improve the economic picture, especially in depressed rural and industrial pockets in this country where our manufacturers have been put under, that our businesses have been put under. It's really what we're going to end up with is more people on the payrolls, more people on the benefits, because we're not really going to be seeing what we were promised. You know, Trump, though, we have to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt for the time being. You know, the author of The Art of the Deal. Let's hope he comes through with something for us, since I need to rewrite a new tax plan that is going to be beneficial to the United States. And since they've already deemed the fact that our border tax, our border imports, are against the World Trade Organization. And of course, China's a major player in the World Trade Organization. And of course, we're going to continue to bleed your country, United States, without anything that you have to say about it, regardless of your vote. We're going to continue to strip away your manufacturers. We're going to continue to sell you our goods. And it's just going to be business as usual. So despite the fact that they're now saying that none of these campaign promises are going to be able to be accomplished, I just hope that we make it through. He can come down and put forth a deal that he could provide something for these businesses besides executive orders to look into the budget deficit, besides press conferences to show that there is a few jobs brought back by automakers. Guess what? The auto industry's suffering heavy losses. Car prices are dropping through the floor, and we are watching the collapse of the auto industry. What are those couple thousand jobs? How long are they going to last? They lasted long enough to put their name on national TV, everyone talking to the president, shaking hands. Oh, great, wonderful, how wonderful is Ford? Great American company, let's go give them more money. Guess what? The people don't have the money. The people don't have the money because the businesses, they've been taxed out of business. The people aren't getting pay raises because the government's hand is still there. The ACA is still in place, which requires your employers to purchase tax benefits, so half of the workers are still held under 30 hours a week because they just can't afford these corporate health insurances for them, not for their minimum wage workers. So even in retail, we still have depressed hours, depressed wages. We need to remove some of these regulations or we're not going to see the growth that people are expecting. And what we're going to see is a stock market massacre. And you know who's going to be hurt the most? These unconventional investors who have been afraid to put their money in the stock market for so long. They've been afraid because they felt the sting before. And they got plans of retirement. And you know what? They're going to strip away the last hope that any of the citizens of this country have, which was to make America great again, right? That was the plan. Make America great again. It's a sad day. I thank you guys for joining me here on the Silver Report. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe, like the videos, share the videos, get the word out. I thank you so much for stopping by. As always, stay safe.